Hello and welcome back to Legacy of Love Marissa Stories. Today's video will be a brief timeline of my life because there are stories and topics I really want to share, but they may not make sense if there's not a timeline provided or if you don't know like where I was or what the state of our family was at the time. So I really wanted to just start at the beginning, which is for my life, 1986, December 14th, 1986. I was born in Teslic, which at the time was Yugoslavia. Nowadays, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina. So that's where my family lived until I was about 5. It was me, my mom, my brother, and my dad. And I don't know when, but at some point between 86 and 91, my dad left Yugoslavia to work in Germany. This was a really common thing for people back in Yugoslavia. I'm not sure like when this was a common thing, but obviously in the late 80s and early 90s it was common because that's when I know my dad was a guest worker. So he worked in Germany for a while and would periodically come home for holidays and breaks and whatnot. So he was not home a lot when I was growing up in Bosnia. Well, he was not home around. He was not around a lot for me growing up, not just because he was a guest worker, but during my later years in Bosnia, that was like one of the main reasons. So then the war started. I'm not sure when, again, because I was so young, but I believe it was sometime in 91 that we were being told that we had to escape our village and the territory we were in because it was going to become dangerous soon. So my mom somehow escaped the war zone with my brother and I, since my dad was already living in Germany at the time. She went to stay with her brother, so my uncle, in Zagreb, which is in current day Croatia. And we stayed with them for a couple of years, I believe, from 91 to 93 or 91 to 92. Again, not exactly 100% sure. I'm basing this off memory and like stories I've been told. So approximately 91 to 93, we lived in Zagreb. I started the first grade there. And I remember that because I did not finish the first grade there. My mom pulled us out of school because she got papers so that we could go to Germany and reunite with my dad. So I was really excited about that at the time. It was the end of 93. I think it was 93, December of 93 or so that we left. November or December of 93 that we left Croatia and went to be with my dad in Frankfurt, Germany. I know it was winter because I remember when I started school that we were doing a lot of Christmas activities. We were singing songs, and I was very unfamiliar with all the German Christmas songs and Christmas traditions because having come from Bosnia, we didn't grow up with Christmas. We had a Christmas tree, but it wasn't to celebrate Christmas. We had it for New Year's. We celebrated the New Year season and like the holiday season, but it wasn't about Christmas. So to me, everything was new and unique, but I was really happy about learning it all and kind of just quietly absorbing. I remember I was very quiet when we moved to Germany. I just kind of shut off and just observed. And a funny story, I remember being walked to recess by one of the girls I had met in the first grade class in Germany, and she's pointing at the tree and she's telling me tree in German, which is Baum. The word is Baum. She's pointing and saying Baum, Baum, and I'm unknowingly just smiling at her and shaking my head yes, because I had no idea what she was saying to me. So that's just something I remember. from that time. But yeah, I was really eager to learn German and be there and be part of that life. So yeah, so then I started that first grade there. Then I went on into second, third, fourth, and fifth grade there. Those were some really fun times because in Germany, the grades are, you start with your first grade and you're with that same class or group of people, same class, until fifth grade. Well, actually, that's the same as here, right? And then, yeah, but in America, you then go to middle school between sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, and then to high school. Versus in Germany, at least the school that I went to first and through fifth grade with the same group of kids, and then when you start sixth grade, that's kind of when you start your like higher schooling, like your high school, I guess, and you meet a new group of friends. So yeah, where was I? So that was really cool. Like I grew up with those kids, and then some of the kids that I had from that school, Textorschule in Frankfurt, went with me to be in the same sixth grade class at Holbeinschule in Frankfurt. That was really neat. I remember those times. So I remember having, I don't remember at Textorschule, at the elementary schools, if you have the same teacher the entire time. That part I don't remember, but I remember the teacher that I had in first grade. Her name was Frau Renka. And I don't remember, again, if I had her the entire time through fifth grade, but yeah, she was someone I remember. And then we went on to Holbeinschule, which is where I had Herr Edebolz. It was a man. Herr means Mr. Herr Edebolz. I remember a fun fact about him. He had the same birthday as I did, December 14th. Yeah. So I have one friend. I don't know if we're still friends on social media. Ornella. She was Italian, is Italian. She's from Sicily. And I knew her from elementary through sixth grade until I moved here to America. And then we lost touch for a really long time because, again, like there was no social media. There was none of that stuff back then, only snail mail. And when you're not encouraged to have these friendships, then they will all fizzle. So I did reunite with her in 2009 when I went back to Germany. When I graduated college, I met up with her actually. So that was really cool. And I have some pictures that I will have to find sometime and show. But yeah. So yeah, in sixth grade then is when I came to America. We came here on December 8th, 1998. And that's kind of as far as I want to take this timeline today, is up until the point we came here, because a lot of the stories will revolve around this first part of the timeline. And several videos that I have on my mind will focus on this timeline. And then I will talk about the rest kind of as we talk about those topics. But yeah, so that's as far as we got today. So 1998 is when we came here, and then I finished off the sixth grade through May 1999. Actually, in the sixth grade, while we're on this topic, that's where middle school starts, right? Like sixth grade through eighth grade. And I just remember having such a rude teacher, like such a disrespectful teacher at Edison Middle School. I will just call it out because I don't care. His name was Mr. What was his name? Oh gosh, it's not on my mind right now, but I'm sure it'll come to me. Mr. Hawk. I think it was Mr. Hawk. And he was my math teacher. And so when I came to America, actually, before I even got to that part, in Germany, you start learning a foreign language as early as like second grade. So we were learning English in second grade in Germany. But that was already my third language at that point in my life. So I was growing up speaking Bosnian. Then I'm learning German, and then the following year they add English to it as well. But by that point I was already pretty fluent in German, so it was fine. But again, like, you're learning, essentially I'm learning two languages at one time. So when we came here to America, my English wasn't perfect by any means, and also I did not have a lot of self-confidence and any self-worth, really. So I didn't speak up a lot, and the English that I did know, I was like not very vocal with it, I guess. So anyway, we had a teacher, Mr. Hawk, and we were learning, I think it was fractions that we were learning in sixth grade. And now again, because of knowing some English, I was all people or all kids that came here from a different country were put in a different level of ESL, they called it, which was English as a second language. And depending on your level, you're either in some mixed classes that were taught by teachers that knew you were an ESL student and they would kind of adjust for your level, and then some classes would be in mainstream, which is you're with the rest of the school kids. You're not in any special ESL type of class. And so based on the level that I was, my math class happened to be like more of a mainstream class, and some of my other classes were more ESL based. And this teacher just came straight up to me and said, if you don't understand the work that we're learning here, feel free to go back to the country that you came from. So keep learning. And, I didn't really understand why or what he said. Like, I remember it hurt my feelings and I was like affected by it and emotional about it. But thinking back, this kind of is so sick and wrong to have been told that, like, at 11 years old. I didn't even know. I don't know. There was just a lot going on with my family and just the world in general at the time that it was such an insensitive thing to be told. But yeah, so that's something that really stands out to me about that time. Then, I did 7th grade and 8th grade at the same school, Edison Middle School, because I was an ESL student. And then when I started freshman year in high school, through senior year, I was no longer ESL. I was just in regular mainstream classes, which was nice, but it still didn't really help my self-confidence because the middle school that we had to go to was in a different city on like a different side of town that happened to have that ESL program. So the high school kids that we ended up with in high school, they did not transfer out from the same middle school. So we basically kind of, unless we knew some of the ESL kids that were older or our age, we really had to start over. And having having already had low self-confidence and not a lot of self-worth, it was really hard to adjust to that. Like, already having been a new kid and being different by being ESL, and then coming to essentially a new school, having to meet all new people, still having the same doubts and insecurities, and it was just not a great time. But it's fine. You grow and you learn, and there's a reason I'm here today, and a reason I'm able to share these stories today. It's because I don't have those insecurities and those feelings anymore, so it's all good. So then I was in high school from 2001 until 2005 at Wheaton North High School. Yeah. And then I went to College of DuPage for 2 years and studied just general studies. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. In hindsight, I should have really taken some time off and maybe explored the world a little bit, maybe gone back to Germany for a longer period of time, just done things that I didn't realize I wouldn't have the opportunity to do later on because of a lot of different things. So, yeah, went to COD, College of DuPage, and then I went to Illinois State for 2 years after that. So yeah, that was a really fun experience. I moved away from home for 2 years and had roommates and lived alone, and I needed that time. A lot of stuff happened in that time. My dad passed away when I was a senior in college, and yeah, a lot of things, a lot of growth during those years. So, but we'll get into those topics eventually. So yeah, today's video, I hope you enjoyed this timeline of a brief timeline of my life, I guess, and a lot of stories may base off of some of these tidbits, and or will obviously be a lot of coming out of a lot of these timelines too. So if you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. If you come back again, I hope to see you here in the next video. If not, no biggie, no pressure. But yeah, thank you for watching. And if you are one of my friends from growing up in any of this timelines, it would be really cool if you are watching, and if you left a comment, that would be really awesome. And if you are family that I haven't talked to in forever and you're watching, it would be really cool if you left a comment too. Again, no pressure. If you don't want to, it's all good. Love you. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.